One wounded Marine showed incredible respect for fallen service members during the Rolling Thunder motorcycle rally in Washington, D.C. over Memorial Day weekend. He stood in the street, giving a somber salute that lasted for 3 hours, showing respect and thanks to the men and women who have given all. As he stood there, a group of motorcyclists, mostly veterans, came up to him and created in that moment a powerful show of solidarity, silent in support of his tribute to those who gave their lives. Under the unforgiving midday heat, Sergeant Tim Chambers stood motionless in the middle of the street, a living testament to sacrifice and remembrance. His uniform, adorned with a constellation of medals, spoke of service and valor. For 15 minutes, now 3 hours, he has stood perfectly still, his arm raised in perpetual salute to the names being etched into the war memorial before him. His unwavering stance captivated every passerby. Despite the physical pain from an old battlefield wound, Tim's resolve was unbreakable. His gaze remained fixed on the distant horizon, his salute a frozen moment of profound respect. As hours passed, his immovable posture became a powerful symbol of military devotion, quickly spreading through news outlets and social media around the world. Onlookers lined the street, waving flags or standing in silent reverence. It was a living, breathing memorial, and Tim was at its center. Those were long hours of just lying motionlessly, and during that time, Tim's mind escaped to memories of his identical twin brother, Mark. Since childhood, through their likeness in look and dream, they had been inseparable, even in calling themselves into service in the Marines. Their bond had been unbreakable, their paths identical until that day when everything changed. Tim remembered their final mission vividly, deployed to some hotbed of war, fighting as brothers, as they had for so many years. One moment they were on a routine mission, and the next, all hell was breaking loose in the form of back-to-back explosions and sniper rounds. 2 Marines were killed instantly. Amidst the chaos, Tim took a bullet that ripped through his leg. But Mark turned everything upside down. In one ultimate act of brotherhood, Mark sacrificed his life to save Tim's one that would stay with Tim for all eternity. The memorial stand was on the exact anniversary day of the heart-wrenching loss. Tim's salute was much more than a military action, a promise, a prayer, and a deep homage to the brother who gave everything. In an instant of pure instinct and brotherhood, Mark charged towards a hail of bullets to save his falling brother. With superhuman courage, Mark covered Tim's body, dragging him to safety. The heroic act came with the ultimate price. A sniper's bullet found Mark's head, and he fell onto Tim, dying instantly. Tim's anguished cries echoed across the battlefield as he watched his twin slip away, helpless to save him. That memory had remained a raw wound, etched into Tim's soul. The sacrifice of Mark, giving his life to save his own brother, was a burden Tim carried with profound pain and eventual acceptance. Years of healing had taught him how to transform his pain into reverence. Mark may have been gone, but his heroism lived on, a legacy that transcended death itself. Hours into his tribute, the exhaustion of it all made Tim's body ache. His raised arm shook with trembles, his leg pounded with old wounds, and a merciless sun beat down. Yet he stood, resolute, and his salute far more than just such. It was a promise sacred to some, a promise not to ever forget the sacrifice of all those that had fallen, a tribute to Mark and every soldier who had given everything. Sweat trickled down his face, his uniform sticking uncomfortably to the skin. The sun's rays felt oppressive. The people around him had to take refuge under their umbrellas. Tim was undeterred. His parched throat, aching muscles, and injured leg were nothing against the ultimate sacrifices of his comrades who did not make it. Whispers spread through the crowd. Who is he? A vet, standing so still. Their whispers turned to a hum of respect at the realization of how significant his pledge was. Others were in silent agreement, fathoming the meaningfulness of the situation behind his unyielding salute. 3 hours passed, and with the seeming suspension of time, a distant rumble pierced the air. Over the hill came a legion of bikers, each leather jacket bearing the patches of various military services, and their faces telling stories of service and survival. Thrumming with motorcycles, their thunder approached, and all wondered if it would tamper with Tim's solemn tribute. Every second of Tim's vigil stood testament to resilience, to memory, to the unbreakable bond between soldiers who understand sacrifice beyond words. As the bikers approached, a wave of apprehension washed over the crowd. Whispers of fear and prejudice flowed between onlookers, some of them turning to retreat. For years, society had painted bikers with a broad, menacing brush rebels without a cause, lawbreakers whose very presence suggested trouble. The stereotypes ran deep. To many, loud motorcycles, rugged appearances, and a reputation for rebellion created the impression of a group that cared little for the rest of society. Few were ever aware of the rich tapestry of humanity beneath the leather and chrome, a community often misunderstood, its character judged by appearance. Behind the intimidating exteriors, individuals had stories of service, passion, and profound respect. When the bikers dismounted, a shocking silence fell. Black leather jackets and muscular frames appeared designed to intimidate. Their eyes, however, spoke another story. Windows to souls with an unexpected tenderness and understanding. And in a moment that would become the stuff of legend, the bikers did something extraordinary. They formed a perfect circle around Tim, each member at rigid attention. Then, in a pure gesture of solidarity, they raised their arms in collective salute. It was a silent promise, a brotherhood beyond mere skin. Appreciation welled in Tim's eyes as he recognized in these strangers that deep respect which had driven his vigil. It wasn't the stereotypical troublemakers society feared, but people who understood sacrifice up close and personal. One biker, his body adorned with intricate tattoos that spoke of personal journeys, stepped forward. His appearance might have frightened those unfamiliar with his world, but his approach was nothing short of compassionate. As he walked toward Tim, the crowd held its breath, imagining the worst. "Is he reaching for a weapon?" a woman whispered nervously. The tension was palpable when the biker reached into his jacket, but out came not a threat, but a simple bottle of water, a small act of kindness that shattered every preconceived notion. In that instant, it was humanity that prevailed. Prejudice melted away into the deep realization that real respect knows no boundaries of appearance or background. The bikers had changed from feared strangers to surprising heroes, showing that the most unlikely corners may bring compassion. "Drink, brother," the biker said softly, gently breaking the seal on the water bottle. With remarkable tenderness, he held the bottle to Tim's lips, letting him drink without breaking his salute. The cool water flowed like renewed hope, reinvigorating Tim's weary body. A silent nod, volumes to them in a language of mutual respect that needed no words. The biker walked back into the circle and went back to his salute alongside his companions. United they stood, a statement strong in depth, bridging gaps within the society with one single gesture of solidarity. Stunned, the crowd held its collective breath. Gone were fear and prejudice, replaced by growing comprehension of the surprising links between people. Tim was exhausted. The unyielding sun seemed to dare him on. But just at this time, when he needed some encouragement, another bicyclist came forward from the circle. He was holding a pocket fan in his hand, a small but effective tool of mercy. The biker positioned himself beside Tim, his bulk generating a breeze that lifted the overheated air. It was an unexpected moment of tenderness, and that cool whisper of support allowed Tim to keep watch. Another biker came forward, positioning an umbrella behind Tim with precision, providing a barrier against the hot sun. Every kindness was a statement of a brotherhood without borders. Veterans, bikers, strangers, all tied by a silent bond. As night colored the sky in soft purples and golds, Tim finally lowered his arm. The long vigil was over, a tribute to his brother, to fallen comrades, to the very definition of sacrifice. The bikers followed suit, their salute dropping in perfect synchrony. They came to him one by one, handshakes, nods, silent embraces, each an act stitching a tapestry of respect. Strangers to brothers in ours. When Tim finally spoke, his voice conveyed the weight of his experience. He had something to tell the assembled multitude, a message born from a day that rewrote all expectations. The day was proof that brotherhood is not of an appearance, nor a stereotype. It lives in moments of unexpected kindness, in standing together when it matters most. Today I saw something that was humanity beyond the stereotypes, Tim said, his voice remarkably laden with emotion. These bikers who get maligned and misunderstood a lot have taught me about compassion. Society hastens to judge based on appearance, but true character reveals itself in moments of unexpected kindness. He looked into the bikers, a silent gesture of monumental gratitude speaking many words louder than any praise could shout out. There, the crowd stood transfixed, inspired by the wisdom of a man who had witnessed the depth of human connection. As people dispersed, they carried with them more than just memories. They carried a transformative lesson. The day had broken down the walls of prejudice and showed the fragile threads that bind us all. It was to say, in the most simple yet powerful way, that to understand transcends external differences. The engines roared to life, thunderous orchestration of hopes and solidarity. Riding into the faraway distance, each hoped that they had changed at least one perspective or challenged one stereotype. Tim watched them disappear out of sight, knowing this moment which they shared would be etched in his mind forever. He felt at peace as he walked home. His tribute was finally paid to his fallen brother and the other soldiers. Today was proof that the deepest connections among humanity come in its very unexpected moments. As for the crowd, it was an uncanny reminder: never judge superficially. Each person has a story much more profound than meets the eye. An unspoken bond between warriors had spoken volumes unto its own. No grand speeches were needed, just pure, frank human contact. A moment of pure empathy had transformed perception and proved that compassion knows no boundaries in appearance, reputation, or background.